is happening, everyone? I am Max with the RHMax channel. Today we are talking security, everyone's favorite topic. You know, you get excited when you hear people talking about security, right? I know I get excited. We're going to learn today. If you want to learn anything, ask a question. Otherwise, I'm just going to blaze through an assortment of topics. Somebody was asking last time about reentrancy attacks. I can't remember who, but then they made me look it up. I got me interested in it, and then it's been a while since I've tried to do this one. So now I got to remember what I learned about those things, and we'll go through some references and things that I studied on to learn as well. So yeah, should be a good one. What's up, Jerry? Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. I spoke for a total of 5 minutes. I was on there for 45, then had to sign off, and then I'll be on there today, Hex conference, next couple hours. I'll be on there with a panel of me, Ben Dubard, hardest name I've tried to say for a while, Fuber Finance, and Cord Costa. Red Squirrel, good to see you, sir. Good to see you. If you're just checking in, welcome. You can drop your question in and then go to bed if you like, and then you can wake up in the morning, hit the replay gang, and watch it. Whatever you want to do. Marcus 99, what's up, man? Appreciate it. Welcome. Can you talk about terms of service? TikTok and vulnerabilities we have. I don't know anything about the terms of service of TikTok and the vulnerabilities we have. I don't know. So I will say, hopefully TikTok, I don't know. I'm conflicted on TikTok. I think it's definitely a great place to do marketing. It's an untapped resource for hexkins, things like that. But they, CCP, I'll say that. They have a lot of government control, and I think a lot of people suspect the data is being misused over there, and could be. You can go Google about it, like search for TikTok is shaping American youth and all that stuff like that. So, is it a cyber weapon? Is it some kind of a psyop? Is it whatever? Peter Thiel actually talked about this. Had a really good speech on it recently as well. So type in Peter Thiel TikTok, and that should come up on YouTube if you're interested. So I like TikTok and how we can get the message out about Hex and all these crypto products we like. But also I have my concerns that it may be banned for legitimate reasons. We'll see. Maybe they'll make some changes where it's not doing whatever people think it's doing anymore. We shall see. Without further ado, I will bring up some stuff. Yeah, I'm going to get into reentrancy first, and I'll drop the link in the chat, and then I'll get into smart contract stuff. And again, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and I'll get to them as well. But this is the video it's watching on reentrancy. I will drop it in the chat if anyone's interested. And what is reentrancy? Just reading from this too. It's execution not interrupted, bring transfers, state has not been fully updated. Yeah, its control flow was passed to another contract. I think the Curve Finance is one of the ones that got hacked with this type of bug. But it's something. I think there's different kinds of attacks. So Cream Finance, the famous DAO hack in 2016, and then you had Cream Finance in 2021, and then CurveFi maybe recently. I feel like that was maybe in the last year or so. That was the same bug. So just reading here from another resource as well. Reentrancy attacks occur when a smart contract function temporarily gives up flow control of the transaction by making an external call to a contract that is sometimes written by unknown or possibly hostile actors. This permits the latter contract to make a recursive call back to the primary smart contract function to drain its funds. Let me see if I can bring up. I think I basically read from this, and then there's a diagram here too that talks about it. And I'll flip between the two diagrams because I'm learning again. I looked this up a while back, but I kind of forgot a lot of it. So I'm trying to wrap my head around it again too. So send funds, contract Y, there's a callback function, it goes to contract X, and then a recursive call, contract Y calls back into X before its balance is updated. Okay, reentrancy, maybe like a timing attack type of thing too. Sounds like critical issues though. Critical issues. Lots, like I said, a lot of big people have got messed up by it. Different types of reentry attacks. You have single reentrancy. So when the vulnerable function is the same function attacker is trying to recursively call. Cross function is only feasible when the vulnerable function shares state with another function. So state sharing could be a problem here. And yeah, like I said, DAO hack. Why is this stuff important to understand for developers and otherwise to figure out how it works? Lots of hacks happened with that. And there's also read-only reentrancy, which I found an article on here. Web3 security course for devs, read-only reentrancy. So I'll click on that. So you have attacker's contract, call, remove liquidity, curve, fallback. I wonder if this is the curve bug. This may be a case study of the curve bug that happened not too long ago. Feedback via raw call, and then call get reward, and then re-enter to read the virtual price, and then returns a wrong virtual price because inconsistent LP total supply. Okay. And then profit. Interesting. Read-only reentrancy. And this is, yeah, there's actually proof of concept as well out there for it. So some of these things you can, let's see. There's a proof of concept on the GitHub, on this guy's place on GitHub. And yeah, interesting. And he also has, I was looking up some of the other stuff. If you're interested in smart contract security, yeah, reentry, you can test the different stuff there, different kinds of vulnerabilities. You can test unsafe delegate call, reentry, interesting. One of the major dangers is calling external contracts that can take over flow. Yeah. Just as we talked about. Read-only external call from A invokes fallback function. Attacker executes code and fallback function running its target B. Okay. Yeah, lots of interesting attacks and tests for them. Backdoor assembly. Oh, we're adding inline assembly. Yeah, I'm learning some stuff here by just seeing. This is a great repository for all kinds of different vulnerabilities to smart contracts. So I will drop that in the chat as well. You can play along with if you like. Cool stuff. Yeah, I want to touch on that because, again, somebody from last time we did the security AMA was talking about this. And I believe I mentioned I would talk about it next time. So I did. Again, great video if you want to learn more about it, how to test for it, what's been affected by these types of reentrancy attacks, and just in general, some of the Web3 security stuff. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. So we will go on to the free claim portion because I wanted to get this about how crypto users get hacked. So the first thing I will say is that you cannot get hacked by simply clicking on a link. I covered this in maybe the last AMA or the one before, but I did a bunch of research and I came up with a whole bunch of different information on what exactly the risks are to connecting to dApps, what exactly are the risks to going to websites, things like that. And although you can go to a website and then maybe it prompts MetaMask and you hit take all my money, you just click the money, you just click the buttons and approve all this stuff. But in general, this is usually a pretty innocent one, just see address, account balance, stuff like that. Very common one you'll see. Other ones may not be so common. And, I've talked about these attacks ad nauseum before. And just if you want to learn more, I'm trying to just make this AMA. If you want to learn more, go to the blog. And I've blogged so much about this in detail. I really try to get down to the meat and potatoes for this. What to do, how to protect yourself against malicious smart contracts. Again, what does it look like? What are the different kinds of proof of contracts? I put all my ideas, all my research in the blogs. I'm going to try to keep this AMA and just touch on a few different ones. What's up, Hexipate. One of those. Correct me if I didn't say that right. How's it going? When would be the best time to go to multi-sig wallet at a certain dollar amount? It's a good question. Multi-sig wallet. So yeah, let's just look it up real quick, just so people know what we're talking about and the pros and cons. So, what is multi-sig wallet? Who's got a good article that I can kind of show some diagrams and stuff with? Maybe Bitpanda has some stuff. Yeah. So basically, if you're not familiar, multi-sig, you need multiple levels of approval, not just you and your keys type of thing. And they require authorization of, through multiple keys, group users. This is very helpful if you have an organization. So the question is when should an individual do it? I'm not sure. I mean, unless you're a millionaire or high millionaire or billionaire individual, I'm not sure you should be spending, you should be investing in this type of security, because you need to involve other people. And that's usually an organizational thing. So if you run an exchange, for example, of course, you're going to want to have extra security, such as multi-sig, where they can't just dump out the cold wallet, because you have multi-sig and it requires multiple people to get involved to do all these things. So if you're just the average person, it's the reason you don't hear a lot of people talking about multi-sig wallets for the average person, because are you going to go to other people that you trust and now give them part of your keys and do that? I think it's very situational. You need to be going through some sort of transition in your life. Maybe you're getting out of crypto and you made a bunch of money and you have this, cold wallet that you don't want to touch for a long time. That could be a good use of it. But another way is just split your seed words up. Instead of going through multi-sig, instead of having multiple signatures and multiple keys and things like that, you already have multiple seed words with Ethereum. So maybe you send part of your seed words, you send 4 of them one place, 4 of them to another place, and you keep 4, things like that. So there's different ways. Multi-sig wallets is just one of the ways to make sure that if you're compromised, or if part of you is compromised, that you limit the impact. So the impact isn't you have all your seed phrases, you have all your keys, and they get stolen, you lose all your money. If you do other security practices, such as multi-sig and splitting your keys up, or what is the other thing I was talking to Jesse about the other day? There's all kinds of different ways to split up your stuff to make sure that only you need to have all these different pieces instead of just one to withdraw or transfer and things like that. But in general, I wouldn't worry about it unless you're an organization, you're a company who's in charge of other people's funds. That may be a compliance thing in general. You may have to do that. Or you're a ultra high net worth individual and you don't plan on touching crypto for a while, and you want to protect yourself with that. So that was my take on it. I'm just reading this, if they have any other interesting points here. Yeah. A regular wallet, single signature, think of it that way, and then multi-wallet. Yeah, how do you create multi-sig? There's probably a timing aspect to them too. Advantage, disadvantages. Okay, use it more secure. Block the light network. Yeah, so I have a lot of. Yeah, if the entire site. Yeah, so you rely on the entire group to be ethical and not compromised as well. Anyways, yeah, thanks for the question. Good question. I don't if I had an exchange or a company or something where I was taking a lot of funds, multi-sig would certainly be like on top of mind. Thank you, Mix. Appreciate it. Sir Edwards Track Home. Good to see you. It's been a while. Good to see you. Any takes on replay attacks on ETH Fair? Are you suggesting they've happened? I don't think they have, or I haven't heard that they have, but I haven't been keeping up with it either. Let's see. So this one's talking about on some contract that took place. Interesting. Not the network itself. I'll search through, see if I can find it. And drop me a link if you have any other references too, and we can talk about it, but I don't think playback's still possible. See what people are talking about. GIF talked about the what was that? The bomb? The what was that? Some bomb that basically, if they didn't change this particular thing when the fork happened, that maybe replay attacks could happen, I believe. But they, that was something super simple they thought of and had changed. What's that risk? Yeah, chain IDs. Yeah, I don't really pay much attention to the forks, honestly. And when they came out, it was, I always thought they were just, yeah, it's nice that Hex is getting attention because that's one of the coins that's getting a lot of trading volume, or used to, at least for a while. But again, I want Pulse Chain. I'm not waiting for more Ethereum forks. I'm waiting for the Ethereum fork. PulseChain.com. Save yourself. Yeah, I don't know if you have any references for any attacks going on. I haven't heard of any. We can just talk about replay attacks in general. This is a thread from MakerDAO. A replay attack is taking a transaction from one network and using it on another. If you sent someone 100 WETH on Ethereum POW at the fork after the merge, replay attacks could repeat this action on POS without your permission. Oh, are we? Okay, this is part of a bigger thread. I'll drop this in the chat as well. Oh, no. Okay. None have happened. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I'll read a little bit and see if we can figure. Yeah, P155 was implemented to prevent replay attacks by using unique chain ID for different networks. Yeah, that's been a while, right? Yeah, P155. It's got to be, imagine that's pretty old. Yeah, 2016. So Ethereum has had replay attack protection since 2016 with the chain ID. That's probably one of the, I wonder if that's when they introduced chain ID. Because, yeah, it's funny. The foresight of, yeah, there's probably going to be multiple forks, and we need like a general way of figuring out how that we can make this not just be this race to replay attack all the forks. Ethereum founder, Vitalik Buterin, smart guy. Smart guy. However, chain ID remains at 1 there. So that's what, maybe that's what the difficulty bomb, maybe that's what the GIF was talking about too. But the chain ID, it sounds like maybe they're two separate things. And it sounds like chain ID remains at 1 does not change. Yeah. So if you're going to fork Ethereum, make sure to change the chain ID in the code. Otherwise, replay attacks may be possible. Interesting bit of information there. General note to users interacting with MakerDAO on POW's fork is dangerous. Let's see, because we did see the mention of the contract getting attacked and having a replay attack. Not the network itself, but a contract on the network. And MakerDAO is a contract on the network. Then they're talking about that here. replay attacks affect not specific, with any digital asset. Any transaction broadcast to the forked Ethereum network can be replayed on POS if they share that share. Yeah, again, make sure you change the chain ID. People forking Ethereum. Some examples in interaction may not be replayable. Selling. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Hexy, you gotta tell me how to say your name. Hexipade. Pate. But appreciate these questions. Essentially, just reusing the copy version of the coin more than once without having need. I won't say reusing the copy version of the coin. So there's two different things. There's replay attack for the network, which if you don't change the chain ID, for example, you can, let me see. I need a diagram because I start explaining this. It's just the words don't hit like a picture does. Ethereum diagram. Let me see. Something that's going to make sense to people. And that's a general one. Maybe this one. I like this meme. Every airdrop ever. But again, airdrops are only dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, which most people don't know what, they're not experts to be able to identify this type of stuff. So if you want to be expert at how to be vigilant on airdrops, on free claims, do that. So with the merge, two chains are now be present, POS, Creative version, NFT assets. Wouldn't it make sense to sell it on the old chain and get them all out of Ethereum? The issue is subject to replay attack. It's basically where a transaction that happens on one chain can be exploited. Yeah, I know that. So Bitcoin A, Bitcoin B. Traditionally, a replay attack happens when a malicious figure sneaks up on a secure network connection and intercepts it, resulting in delay or recent data. Yeah, so in crypto, it's more about the replaying it to stuff you don't have anymore, like coins you don't have, I believe. As the messages intercept the network, no need to decrypt them. In blockchain context, replay attacks can occur significantly during hard forks, such as Ethereum 2.0 hard forks. Yeah, we know what that is. During these forks, entities can use replay attacks as well. It's because any transaction made by a person who access was valid before the hard fork is also made on that chain. This all means the transaction bypasses security. Yeah. Double spend, have an identical unit. How do we prevent them? After the merge, let's see. Before the merge delisting, transfer NFTs and wallets can break. Like, I don't know about that. Replay that can be applied. Wow, that was just not a good. I'm trying to get you a good explanation here. Let's see. When I research this stuff, I really like to get a list of all the stuff you actually need to know. Okay, maybe Exodus has something good. Yeah, that's a good succinct explanation. When two forked cryptocurrencies allow transactions to be valid on both chains. Yeah, so if the chain ID is the same, yeah, that makes sense. If you leave the chain ID the same, replay attacks can occur. Let's say BTC forks into BT1, for you held all BTC in your wallet. You create a transaction that says send 3 coins to wallet. You sign it, you broadcast it to BT2 network. Transaction circulates, eventually transferred 3. Okay. So BT2. So BTC forks into BT1, BT2. BT2 broadcasts this. And then BT2 approves transfer. But somewhere along the line, somebody out there sees your transaction data, copies it, and re-uploads it to BT1 network. Yeah, there you go. So there's no replay protection. Transaction is valid. So you can make transactions valid on networks where they didn't occur. That's one way to look at it. So someone copies and broadcasts your BT transaction. Same transaction is broadcast through BT1 network. Network 1 approves transfer and sends it to address Y. Yeah. But wouldn't you just be able to, if that's the case, wouldn't you just be able to replay to your own or addresses that you don't even control? Let's see. Yeah, does not mean someone else has control of your funds. A replay attack can only copy an existing transaction to new fork. So to keep in like why you don't want this to happen, because it's just chaos. Like attackers can. It's not really about. It's not particularly. Now there's probably replay attacks where you can actually steal money and stuff. That's where a lot of them would be interesting, and you would definitely want to protect against. But it could just cause it at least, I guess, or at best, it would just cause chaos on the network because you're on another chain and you do a transaction and you maybe own the coins on the previous chain, the one that's not the fork. So you do a transaction on the fork and then somebody copies that or somebody is able to make that transaction happen on the other network as well when you didn't intend for that to happen. So it's kind of like you're losing control over which network that you want the transaction to occur upon, which is a big no-no. That's at best, and at worst, they're able to maybe do a replay attack to get the coins in another wallet somehow. You don't want them to occur. Say that. That makes sense. Poo80. Okay. Hexy Poo80. Well, I would have never guessed that pronunciation. Nice. I like it. Crypto Truth. What's up, man? 5555. I appreciate that. Any security, I mean, it doesn't have to be about crypto either. It can be about, I know this is crypto smart contracts, Web3 attacks and defenses. I guess I should talk about reentrancy defenses then, which, let's see. Yeah, Mutex. So Mutex is kind of like a lock. You can like lock certain state and certain things in the code and in the data that's being transferred and all that. So there's different things for Reentrancy Guard. Maybe that's a library that's you can add on there too. Gas limits. Yeah, just different checks, see interactions. Interesting. Yeah, you can ask more about other than crypto too. I mean, I am a security expert that came from like actual security, like not crypto. I'm not condescending crypto, but security, network security, computer security, browser security, all that stuff. So that's my background. So you can ask any of those questions. Well, ask me about VPNs if you like, and we don't have to talk about VPNs. They're useful in certain cases, but they are abused. I'll say that they do not protect you. They do not stop you from getting hacked. They just hide your IP address, which lots of different ways to do that. Appreciate Crypto Truth. P8. Yeah, Hexy P8. Hexy P8. Hexy Poo80. However it is, welcome. And good questions. Let's see what else we got going on. So we will talk about, again, this is just me going through different types of things. Some of the stuff I'm like fresh on and could talk like that about, but some things I'm just reading, interpret. Okay, I got security context. I know what that means, and trying to get to I'm good at research. I'll say that too. It's one skill I've learned in my career is being able to identify a topic I want to learn more about, and then have the context around it to put it together where it actually makes sense, and to focus and keep pushing on it until it does make sense. Okay. Close a couple of these. 5 security tips you never heard of. This is one that I think is a lot of people have used, I guess. I don't have a counter on the blog, so it'd be nice to see which ones have the most clicks and stuff. I imagine the free claim one has a lot. I imagine malicious smart contracts has a lot, but the 5 security tips, I read it when I first started the blog. So these are a lot of stuff that I tell people when we talk about security. You don't have to get phished. You can protect yourself. Lots of ways to protect yourself. I'll just throw it in here. I'll get back to questions in just a second. VirusTotal. A lot of people have never heard of this website. And if you've never heard of it, you are missing out. So VirusTotal. You don't have to download stuff and then hope that your antivirus catches it. All the people running Windows out there. You don't have to run Windows. You can run Mac. Much more security. And I can ask me why Mac is more secure if you want to hear me talk about it. But you can, let's say you're running Windows, use VirusTotal. Before you download something or before you run it, you can download it or give it a link even too. But if you download it, you can upload it to VirusTotal and it will check all these it'll check like 50 different antivirus programs to tell you whether this is malware or not, whether it believes it is. Yeah, all you do, drop the downloaded file there or give it a URL and it'll tell the URL as malicious. Let's see something about VPN. I read that here a little bit too. VPNs allow you to, let's see, I'll bring up the question first. What do you think about operating from just mobile? I don't have VPN. Well, let's unpack that a little bit. So operating from just a mobile. First of all, I'll say that I don't do crypto on my phone because I take my phone with me places. And if I lose it, even though it's encrypted, I have a passcode, all that stuff, I don't want to risk, I just don't want to risk losing any of my keys or anything if somebody got a hold of it. So I don't do crypto on mobile. If you do, that's fine, whatever. Staker app is great, I know, but I don't do that. Because I think that your mobile has the most exposure, even though it is more locked down technically than, for example, your Windows operating system, than a general purpose PC. It has a lot of more security features. You can't just run, unless you turn off all the security protections, you can't just run arbitrary apps and stuff on it like you can on your own computer, obviously. So first of all, operating from a mobile versus having a VPN. So I would say, what problem are you trying to solve? So if you think using a mobile and not using a computer, so like if the ideal is I use a mobile or a tablet or something like that because it's more secure than a desktop PC or something, then generally, yes, you can make a case for that. Again, because you can't run all these apps unless you turn off all the security features. But I would differentiate between a mobile phone, something that's always connected to a network, connecting to Wi-Fi, you're carrying around with you, people, the physical access part, versus a tablet that you use at home that you only connect to Wi-Fi. It doesn't have cellular and stuff. I think your mobile has a bigger attack surface than your tablet, for example, in this. Chromebook, you could throw them in the category too. Similar type of, you can't just run any app on it. You got to run ones that have been vetted, and unless you turn all the features off again. So if you don't want to get hacked, running something from an operating system that's not Windows, that's maybe a Chromebook, from a tablet, maybe a mobile device, it could be better in that case for browsing the internet especially. But VPNs don't stop you from getting hacked. VPNs connect you to another network, and then you use that network to access the internet. They're great for, like, if you have a job that you need to do remote work in or something, you know, access corporate resources, boom, use a VPN. If you're traveling and there's like censorship, you can access Facebook or can access Twitter or whatever it is in another country, boom, use a VPN. If you're going to work at a coffee shop or do, you know, whatever crypto stuff at a coffee shop, which I wouldn't recommend doing, you're doing something sensitive in a public Wi-Fi place that doesn't require encryption or whatever to be any security to be turned on and connect to it, then sure, VPN sounds fine. If you are at home browsing the internet, the only benefit a VPN is going to give you is going to hide your IP address. And people don't get hacked via their IP address 99% of the time these days. Servers get hacked with their IP address, which is easy to find because they have the domain name and you can get the IP from there and go in that whole direction. But as a user, as someone browsing the internet, nobody cares about your IP address most of the time. They care about what browser you're running, if it's up to date. They care if you click on a link and run some executable, things like that. So the VPN doesn't address that problem. VPN does not address you're clicking executable to run it. It doesn't address you got phished and now they have your Twitter password or something. It doesn't address your browser being out of date. It doesn't address any of those things. So, and those are the things that you want to do to improve to make sure you don't get hacked. A VPN hides your IP address. Think about it like that. It just hides your IP address. Doesn't stop you from getting hacked. So, hope that makes sense. Let's see. I'll go back to your next question in a second. I don't feel without exclusivity the private company we have privacy liberty. Yeah, I mean it's just on the VPNs. I mean you're connecting to another network and you're connecting out from there. Yeah, you know, you're letting them see all your connections and stuff. Not that they can see the data because that's encrypted, unless some other things have been changed with a VPN, which can happen if there's a malicious VPN provider. But in general, you can at least think that they're seeing the URLs that you're going to or the websites you're connecting to, things like that, which goes to your privacy concern. Awesome. I was under the impression your VPN made connection more secure. Yeah, it's unfortunately that is just the thing that people want to just keep saying and just hoping. It's like the hopium aspect. It doesn't. Let me break down, make your connection more secure. It gives you an encrypted tunnel to another network that then lets you use their resources, such as, making calls on the internet. So that has nothing to do with getting hacked, though. Your connection being more secure is more of a privacy thing than security. Two different things. Privacy is, you being able to do stuff without other people knowing, or other people seeing it, which funny enough, VPNs providers, they can, they don't keep logs. Okay. They're not looking at your data. Okay. You got to trust them. The security part is about, you can use your computer, you can browse the internet without getting compromised, without your actions, without your credentials being stolen and people doing other stuff on your behalf that you don't know about. Two different things. What do you mean? VPN stops advising malicious actors. Can you more define the problem? Because good question. Good statement. Stops advertisers or malicious actors knowing where you are. So, why would you care if they know what state you're from or what general area? What does that do? Like, why would you pay $20 a month, for example, for a VPN so they don't give you ads based on, you're in California or whatever, or you're in New York, or you're in a particular city? Like, why would that, you not want that to happen? Like, what is that? What is it giving you? I guess that's what I would ask. And malicious actors, again, nobody uses your IP address to attack you. Please show me a reference of someone doing that. Maybe a DDoS attack or something, but it's like nobody, I just don't think the IP address is as valuable to hide as it used to be. 20 years ago, that was a real thing. Like, oh yeah, you want to hide your IP address, people get hacked, all this stuff. Now you have routers are very popular. They have built-in firewalls. There's not a lot of listening ports. I could go on and on like why that's not the case these days. 20 years ago, sure, IP addresses were more valuable for clients, for people on the internet. Nowadays, look up any website, you can find their IP address. You can find your IP address like that. So I just don't know. I don't know what VPNs give you as far as not letting advertisers or malicious people know where you are, because if there's a malicious person, if I'm an attacker, I'm targeting you. I don't even think about your IP address, not until way down the line when I have a payload, I want to deliver it, and all this technical stuff about the attackers use. What I'm thinking about is, how can I get you to go to a website, which is a malicious website, to get you to do something, to give me some kind of access to your system or some website you use that I want to compromise or download. How can I get you to download and run something? That's what I'm thinking of. And VPNs don't do anything to prevent that. Like, it's not their thing. What would be your choice virus protection for a Mac? Honestly, I don't think you need one for a Mac. And okay, so virus protection for Windows, you don't need to install anything extra. You just need to use Windows Defender. It is built in since like Windows 8. It's great, does a great job, works perfectly, doesn't take up a lot of bandwidth or CPU usage, resource, all that stuff. So for Windows, just use Windows Defender. You don't need all this other stuff. You don't need McAfee. You don't need Norton or whatever the popular one is. You don't need any other antivirus outside of what Windows provides you. It does it. Like, they have a world-class team working there to make antivirus great within Windows. And it doesn't, you just have so many other problems. You start adding third-party apps for that stuff. For Mac, I just don't think you need anything. I don't think when you use a Mac, see, the analogy is, if you use Windows, like 99% of all the viruses and malware on the internet you could be exposed to. If you use Mac, it's more like 1% to 2% of that. And if you use Linux, it's like a fraction of that, for example. So, and Mac already has a lot of security features built in to help prevent you from like running stuff, to get hacked and all this stuff. I don't think I've ever installed antivirus on Mac before. And I've used Mac for years. So security expert doesn't think you need to install antivirus on Mac. Take it for what you like. Yeah, everything you install just slows stuff down. So if it's already good the way it is, and the more stuff you install, the more attack surface you add, funny enough. You got to watch out for that. Some VPN, there are VPN exploits. There are exploits that if you install and use a certain VPN, now maybe a website can hack you because of an exploit for that. And, of course, a lot of them are fixed. They may be in the past, all that stuff. I'm not saying today, that happens, although there are zero-day vulnerabilities and exploits for this. I'm sure, I have no doubt there are VPN exploits out there that are unknown, that if you are targeted, if you're some, again, average person not gonna be targeted for it, but more than likely. But if you're some billionaire and using VPN, there's probably people who are writing exploits for that VPN, and could just be adding attack surface and slowing your stuff down. It's just good. $5 wrench tech, exactly. It's always a wrench tech. Oh, sniff. Also part of aggregating community databases. Yeah, if you sign up for VPN and they have all your data may end up in a database. I prefer my data does not do that. If you're a millionaire and doing blockchain transactions, be paranoid about physical attacks. Yep. Wrench attacks, they exist. You find millionaires to rob via checking IPs. I don't see. IP doesn't correlate with your actual like location. It isn't like you take your IP and you get someone's GPS coordinates from it, or you get their full name and stuff. I would think that, for example, law enforcement, they get an IP and then they can go to the ISP and be like, hey, who's this IP I belong to? Give me their information. They can do that. And I guess you could extrapolate that anyone who has hacked ISPs or otherwise infiltrated them or have access to these data feeds could do that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's the average person. There's no, I can't go on the internet now. If you gave me your IP address right now, I couldn't tell who you are. What could I do with your IP address? I could see your ISP. I could see maybe a general location, like the city you're from. It's probably even the wrong city too. What else could I do with it? I can go port scan it. There'll be nothing open because you're behind a router. Your modern operating systems have a lot of defenses for clients on the network side. So what could I do with it? Like, tell me. I don't, unless I'm some criminal organization or law enforcement. I mean, RH, I don't know if he uses VPNs, but he probably uses some kind of, I don't know, because if you use some kind of proxy, so for streaming, he basically can't, because that would just kill his feed, right? It would make everything really slow. But for other stuff, yeah, I'm sure he uses some kind of sort of proxy. I don't think he just trusts some VPN companies though, because for the reasons we mentioned. 2 months ago, iPhone SIM was hacked remotely. I know, man. That's the scary stuff. I couldn't call or text and got replaced. Yeah, those sucks. So SIM card, that's why you don't use text messages for authentication, if at all possible. Use authenticator apps such as Google Authenticator or Okta, or there's all kinds of different ones. But that's because they can be cloned, and maybe there's some remote hack stuff going on. And so don't use text-based 2FA, text-based codes to protect accounts if there's any other option, because they're vulnerable. Try to use, that's why authenticator apps overall do a good job. For example, Google Authenticator. I'd be very surprised to know any exploits for it, because Google has just like Microsoft, they all have these world-class security teams working there, and they're trying to attack their products and find the bugs and fix them too. So I was thinking, especially if you're not doing malicious things, if you're just crypto. Yeah, I don't think you need an antivirus on Mac or Linux, for example. I don't think you should use one on Windows outside of Windows Defender, which is already there, already works fine. And I don't think you need VPNs at home. Like, is there someone attacking you at home? If there is, you have like bigger problems. But if you're visiting another country, you want to avoid censorship. If you're at a coffee shop where there may be people trying to snoop on your connection, if you're trying to actually connect to a remote network, VPNs work for that. Yeah, and you can run your own VPN. You can set up your own VPN server too, and you can make sure it actually doesn't log your connections. You can send all the logs to dev null. That's a nerd joke for you, or just turn it off. You've not seen the dudes scare people in the internet. I don't know. I mean, again, tell me what to do with these IP. Maybe if you pay from subscription for some service, people like have some crazy data. I'm just saying the average person can't do that. It's thankfully that would suck. And just don't go to websites that look weird. The best advice you could possibly do browsing the internet: don't click on a link that looks weird. Or go to VirusTotal. Again, send it to VirusTotal and be like, I'm going to go to VirusTotal because you guys, I don't believe you're all going to do this, but URL, google.com. You know what? I'll use hex.com. Really? 2 unknown looking ones? Flagged as malicious because they probably flag every crypto one as malicious, but everything else clean. Look at this. What is this, like 100 different antiviruses? If you're not sure about a URL, type it in here. We'll do, let's see, go back to Ethereum.com. Let's go to bitcoin.org. Somebody reported hex for that. That's lame. Don't do that. And yeah, you could click here. You could download the file that you're not sure about. Upload it here. Just drag and drop or choose file. And it'll tell you if any of these antiviruses detected it as being weird. Secrets. Nobody uses VirusTotal in crypto world, but they should. Thank you, Crypto Truth. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Hope you get some rest and have a good night. Hex body. Of course. Thanks for coming. Good questions. Appreciate you, man. They can slide right in your current next message stream. Whew, that would be scary. I don't know how they can do that. I've not heard of those attacks, but that is I don't know. It sounds scary. That would be your phone would need to be really hacked for that to happen. Like, or using some crazy messenger app. Using iMessenger or Signal. Everyone should be using Signal, by the way. It's fantastic. Except that they keep asking me to donate. Like every time I open the app, I need to fix that. That's not cool. But I get it. Appreciate you, Crypto Truth. Yeah, I'm gonna get going too. Hop on that for the next conference. Yeah, I'm on in 1 hour, so I'm gonna get some rest too. I'll stay on for just a couple more minutes. You guys have any other questions? Let me know within 2 minutes because I'm gonna wrap up. So it's been a long day, and I want to make sure I'm fresh to be on the Hex panel. Yeah, RH is talking tonight. Very excited. You know, everyone's bearish on him saying, or no one wants to believe he's going to say something important tonight. I don't know. When there's blood in the streets, you buy. I don't know. He probably won't. But what if he did? Wouldn't that be a cool gift to the community if he announced testnet, or if he announced the RH Museum is open, or if he announced that he was going on Joe Rogan? I don't know. You know, something cool. That'd be good. Instead of just some more like technical stuff that like nobody can really comprehend other than devs. I plan on listening or seeing what he says tonight. And then tomorrow I have a coding in crypto stream with Fashion Coder and Gifford Ware. Maybe I'll back Dipcatcher too if he wants to hop on. And we'll discuss what RH talked about and if there's anything new come from it, and give our commentary on that as well. Cool shirts, man. I think he's going to keep it real. I think so. All right, so always comes good stuff. Yeah, everyone is making swag out there. Yeah, that's awesome. I try to give swag to my local community and stuff too. My local hexicans that are here at meetups. We need to have a meetup. Somebody's supposed to be planning poker night this month. I think he's been busy though, but I'm very excited about that. I haven't played poker for a while, so I would like to play poker. Anyway, security. Anything else interesting? Yeah, you don't have to run Windows. I promise. There's a learning curve for Mac. So here's what you do. You want to convert from Windows to Mac and be much more secure? Here's what you do. Buy a MacBook. Get a used one even. They're really nice. They last forever too. I mean, I would like to buy a new one if I really want to commit and plan to stay on it for a long time, but just you get a used one, play with it. Don't stop using your other computer. Just start using the MacBook from time to time. You know, put some apps on it. Force yourself to use Telegram on it, or force yourself to like watch streams or videos or anything, so you can start learning how it works, how to click on things, the differences between windows, and then see if you like it or not. If you don't, hey, maybe you just spend it, you know, maybe a few $100s, and now you can use it for a streaming box or something like that. But at best, maybe like, it's not so bad. It's not very hard. I can get used to this. And maybe it replaces what you already have. And now you're like 10 times secure. So you can use Mac. Honorable mentions, multi-sig. We talked about that earlier. Only opening files, emails in a virtual machine. Some advanced stuff, but I mean, honestly, it's pretty simple. But every time I say virtual machine, everyone just like, I feel like they just don't know what to do with that. But you literally, all right, virtual machine. Like if you just watch a video, it's so simple. Get the software. There's some free ones. There's some paid ones. You download it. You install Windows. You install Linux. You install maybe even supports Mac. And you just run it. It's just like a window. It's just like you open another Chrome window, but you open an OS window. It's an OS running inside your OS. It's so simple to do. And you can use it to open files in there. So if there is a malicious file, then it only affects your VM. It can't touch your host computer, the one that you can't touch your main computer. You can only touch the stuff inside the other operating system you're running. So super good. Using a different browser, obviously you don't want to browse the internet with your MetaMask browser. Do not do that. You never know when there's some random DApp going to pop up and be like, hey, connect. And you're like, hey, this looks like that thing I used before. And you click connect and wallet drained. Don't want to do that. It isn't just an instant thing again, but if you do click, or like 1 or 2 clicks, pretty scary. So again, if you want to learn about smart contracts, I covered pretty much every single thing I could think of here. Liquidity pool, rug pools, deposit contracts, the front runner bots, the Uniswap stuff that was going on for a long time. I cover all that stuff in the blog. So yeah, there you go. Good idea. I forgot about Tor. If you're thinking about using VPN, just use Tor. If you want to hide your IP address, it's free. Use Tor. It is slow, I'll say that, but it's free. And it's much more, I would say Tor is much more secure than any VPN. Like knowing what I know about VPNs and like retail VPNs versus Tor. Oh my gosh, like Tor, Tor is the gold standard for how to do things anonymously. It's just, I mean, it is the free thing that people use to do that. So yeah, why not use that? Sci-Vibing, yes sir. What's the Sci-Vibes? Yep, Tails has Tor built in. Is that Insomniac, Anemic, Amnesia? Maybe Amnesia OS? Sounds good. I haven't heard of that one, but yeah, there's a lot of privacy operating systems. Without further ado, yeah, check out the blog, guys. If you really want to like get in deep in this stuff, I cover it all. Ubuntu, I like that. That sounds like one. Check it out. I'm hopping off. Come to the Hex Conference in an hour if you want to see me, Furu, Corey Costa, and Ben Dubard talk. And appreciate y'all coming. Great questions. We are out. Sci-Vibe 5555, everyone.